place. Good morning, Salo.
Well, good morning, Sam. The preparations are in full swing here to commemorate the 34 miners who were killed here during a confrontation with police on the 16th of August in 2012. But you'll remember, Sam, that in 2012, over and above the demand for 12,500 after deduction, the living conditions of mine workers became a talking point. Critics came hard on loanmen in saying that they have failed to adhere to the dictates of the mining charter, such as your social labor plan and corporate social investment. Now, the Benchmark Foundation institution, which has done a comprehensive research here at Marikana, is going to be talking to us, and we are now joined by its executive director, John Capel. John, good morning. What has been some of your findings regarding the living conditions of mine workers, which continues to be a contentious issue?
Well, I think we released a report in 2013 on London looking at commitments that they made to housing conditions and living conditions of workers, and then seeing they actually had done nothing. They were behind in the charter in terms of hostel conversion, but also as they managed to convert the hostels, and they now accommodate 2,500 workers, where as 15 years ago, London told me they could accommodate between 12 and 18,000 workers. So that means that 27,500 workers are living out in shanty towns and backyards, and this is appalling. The conditions they live under, as you know, is in shanty shacks that are cold in winter and very hot in summer, and not ideal for healthy workers and for productive workers.
Is this the pattern across the Platinum Belt?
I would say it's a pattern across the Platinum Belt. All the mining houses, when they talk about developing housing, don't intend to build one house themselves. They intend to arrange a loan through a banking institution to the worker and to stay in security. So they have very little commitment. Anglo-American in the 1960s, for example, built the whole town of Welcome, built all the houses, infrastructure, hospitals, the schools and everything. And they said we built a mini welfare state. Today, mines do very little for their workers.
Why is it difficult to hold these mining companies accountable for their failure, or for their failure rather, to adhere to the dictates that I alluded to earlier on?
Well, I mean, I think we let them off the hook in a sense in terms of the charter. The charter is not strong enough. It only looks at private home ownership. It doesn't offer rental accommodation, subsidised accommodation, etc. So there's something wrong with the law in the first place. And secondly, these companies are just not interested in looking after their workers, as we've seen in London. The strike of 2014 and the issues in 2012 were really around human dignity, and workers were asking for their dignity to be respected in terms of the amount of money that they were paid.
Okay, that was John Capel of Benchmark Foundation, who was telling us about some of the researches that they have done here at the Platinum Belt regarding the living conditions of mine workers. In the third segment of this broadcast, we'll be speaking to Lonmin Executive Director Happy Nkoma about some of the strides that they've made in terms of addressing the living conditions of mine workers here at Marikana and the entire Platinum Belt. For now, it's back to you guys in the studio.